Hello students, welcome to mathematics class. This is part 3 of the chapter squares and square roots. Today we will be continuing the discussion of some interesting patterns which we have done yesterday, continuation of it. Next we will discuss first 3 questions of the exercise 6.1. Students, yesterday we discussed some interesting patterns. Along with that, one property also we discussed yesterday. Here, that property is what we have discussed yesterday. These are the things. Square of a number ending in n number of zeros ends in 2n number of zeros. One property. And another property, a number ending in odd number of zeros is not a perfect square. Third, we discussed few try these questions. Then we went for learning some interesting pattern. The first interesting pattern that what we have learned was adding triangular numbers, that is sum of any two consecutive triangular numbers is a perfect square. That is what we learnt. Next, today we will be learning second some interesting pattern. That is adding odd numbers. Adding odd numbers means, here you could observe odd numbers from 1 onwards, you are aware. If I take odd numbers from 1 to, let's say, up to 7, then when they are added, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 gives the perfect square 16, which is square of 4, which means I have added first 4 odd numbers. First 4 odd numbers are 1, 3, 5 and 7. So sum of first 4 odd numbers, we say like this: sum of first 4 odd numbers is 4 square. Sum of first 5 odd numbers, this is sum of first 5 odd numbers. So sum of first 5 odd numbers gives 5 square, which is 25. So this is one of the interesting pattern which is going to help us in later stages of this chapter. So we need to know which will be that nth odd number. Here, sum of first n odd natural numbers. Sum of first n odd natural numbers is n square. This is the property which we have learnt. But the question arises, who will be that nth odd natural number? Who is this nth odd
natural number. So children, we have learnt in our lower classes 6th, 7th, 8th, 2n represents even number. You take n as any natural number and multiply by 2, you will get even number only. So we learned that 2n always gives an even natural numbers. Even natural numbers, nothing but 2, 4, when 2 is multiplied by 1, or when 1 is multiplied by 2. 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8. All these numbers, whatever you generate by taking n as any natural number, we get definitely 2n giving even number. This is what we learned in our lower classes. Now, interestingly, 1 less than that even number gives us odd number. 2n minus 1 gives 1 when n is 1. 2n minus 1 gives 3 when n is 2. 2n minus 1 gives 5 when n is 3. You can observe, I will change the color and let me write here 2n minus 1. If n equals to 1, then 2n minus 1 gives 2 1s are 2, 2 minus 1 1. If n equals to 2, then 2n minus 1 gives 2 2s are 4, 4 minus 1 3. If n equals to 3, then 2n minus 1 gives 2 3s are 6, 6 minus 1 7, 5. 2 3s are 6, 6 minus 1 gives 5. Now observe, our odd numbers are 1, first odd number, second odd number is 3, third odd number is 5, and fourth odd number is 7. 2 4s are 8, 8 minus 1 gives 7. Similarly, we have nth odd number being 2n minus 1. So sum of first n odd numbers, nothing but 2n minus 1 nth odd number is. So 2n minus 1 is nth odd number. So you need to note down along with this property, sum of first n odd natural numbers is n square, that is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus so on. 2n minus 1 is equals to n square. Note here 2n minus 1 is the nth odd number. This is what you have to write down. So we'll go for next if the number is a perfect square, it has to be the sum of successive odd numbers starting from 1. So, as I said, the property or the pattern what we have learned, sum of first n odd natural numbers is n square, will help us in checking whether the given number is a perfect square or not. So, it is one of the usage of that pattern to check the given number whether it is a perfect square or not. We will use this pattern. For example, here consider 25. When I consider 25, I think here if I wanted to check whether 25 is a perfect square or not, I will successively subtract first sum from 1 onwards. It means first some odd numbers. For example, in the same case, first I will subtract first odd number, that is 25 minus 1 gives 24. Next, from that 24, from the difference, I will subtract second odd number, that gives 21 as the difference. From this difference, I will subtract 5, that is third odd number. When I subtract third odd number from 21 gives us 16. From this difference 16, I will subtract fourth odd number, that gives the difference 9. From that 9, if I subtract fifth odd number, I will get 0. The moment I get 0, I can say the sum of first 5 odd numbers is equal to 25. That means 25 is a perfect square. If I do not get 0, then the given number is not, and it is not a perfect square. You can take example. Let me consider example 2 as 31. Then in this case 31, I will subtract from 31 1 first odd number, which gives 30. Next, I will subtract from the difference 30. Second odd number gives 27. In third step, from the difference 27, I will subtract third odd number 5, which gives the difference 22. In the fourth step, from the difference 22, I will subtract fourth odd number, which gives me 15. In the fifth step, from the difference 15, I will subtract fifth odd number 9, which gives me 6. From that 6, the difference, I will subtract sixth odd number 11, which gives me minus 5. That means I got excess 5 in 30, in 31, not excess, shortage of 5 in 31, so that it can become perfect square. Or else sum of first 6 odd numbers is not equal to 31. There is 5 shortage to that sum. That way also you can say. So 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 is 36. You can observe 31 is having 5 shortage of that perfect square 36. So how much is to be added to make it a perfect square? 5 is to be added. Next, how much is to be subtracted to make it a perfect square? In the fifth step, we will get how much is to be subtracted. If I subtract 6 from 31, it becomes a perfect square, that is 25. If I add 5 to 31, it becomes a perfect square, that is 36. And mainly we can say 31 is not a perfect square, as the sum of first 6 odd numbers is not 31. Okay, this is the one of the important usage of this pattern. We can find whether the given number is a perfect square or not, first thing. Second, we can also find how much is to be subtracted from it to make it a perfect square. In this fifth step is giving. Next, how much is to be added to make it a perfect square. In sixth step, it is giving. Okay, that's how we can use this pattern. Now, I am giving you some, try these. So here you are going to note down this, try this and do it on your own. Find whether each of the following numbers is a perfect square or not by same technique of subtracting first odd natural numbers one by one successively. Okay, so now we will go for third interesting pattern. Third interesting pattern is numbers between square numbers. How many numbers are there between any two successive perfect squares? You know, perfect squares, here we have 1 is a perfect square. Next perfect square is a 4. In between 1 and 4 we have got 2 and 3. 4 is a perfect square, 9 is a perfect square. In between them we have got 5, 6, 7 and 8. Next, 9 is a perfect square, 16 is a perfect square. In between them we have got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Now the question arises, can I have the count of them without physically writing? Here we have written physically that after 16 I have 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Without writing physically, can I have count of them? How many are there? Okay, how many non-perfect squares are there between two successive perfect squares? This is the question. Okay, children? There is one method. That method I am going to explain you. Here, that formula tells. You know that 25 minus 16. 25 minus 16. Two perfect successive or two continuous perfect squares. Two continuous perfect squares. Here 25 is a square of 5 and 16 is square of 4. You know 16 when it is subtracted from 25 gives us 9, which is helping you to tell how many numbers are there between 16 and 25. One less than this. One less than the difference. Gives the number of non-perfect squares. Number of non-perfect squares between 25 and 60. You can watch why it is also explained by this. So we have totally 8 non-square numbers between 16 and 25. They are 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24. So 8 are there. There are 2n non-perfect square numbers between the squares of the numbers n and n plus 1. So this 2n gives since it is 2n plus 1 to this number 4 2s are 4 2s 8. Smallest number to whose square is giving the first or smaller perfect square. To that we have to double. So 2n plus 1 whole square minus n square gives 2n plus 1. Therefore we have got 2n number of non-square numbers. Why this 2n plus 1 is taken instead of that 2n as the number of numbers given? Here is a common sense what we have to say. Let me take one small situation analogy. I'll take. What does that means? Here you are waiting to buy a ticket. Okay, it is ticket counter. So you have got a big queue standing to buy a ticket. So in front of the ticket counter we have got a big queue. Let's say you are third fellow in that queue. You happen to see one of your friend coming and standing at 10th place. So who is standing at 10th place is your friend and you are at 3rd place. Now tell me, how many are there between you and him is the question. If someone asks you how many are there in between them, will you physically count or do you use your mathematical knowledge? Very simple. Instead of counting, the difference between 10th place and 3rd place gives 7. So where 1 less than that gives us number of people between you. That is 4th fellow, 5th fellow, 6th fellow, 7th fellow, 8th fellow and 9th fellow. There are 6. There are 6 people between you and your friend. So this is the simple logic which we use. So between you and your friend there are 6 people. How to count? So 10 minus 3 gives 7. 1 less than that of it gives number of people between those two. So with this same logic, between n plus 1 square and n square, I have the difference giving 2n plus 1, which means there are 2n number of people between n square and n plus 1 square. Okay, So this is the one simple explanation, and you can note down this this interesting pattern also. Based on this interesting pattern, again I am giving one more try this which you have to do on your own. So this, how many natural numbers lie between 9 square and 10 square? This is one question, sub question. Next, between 11 square and 12 square is the second part of it. Similarly, how many non-square numbers lie between the following pairs of numbers: 100 square and 101 square, 90 square, 91 square, 1000 square and 1001 square. So totally 5 questions are there based on the same knowledge what I taught. So continuation of this we will do in our next class. For now, this much is enough for this session. Jai Hind and thank you.